your life, or occasionally it's happened where you've gone through a little bit of stress. You don't have to raise your hand. So many things are going on. You're busy at your job, or your lack of a job, or you're taking the kids here and the grandkids here, and you have no time on your own, and we get so focused and busy and stressed. So how do we get out of that? Well, the Institute of HeartMath also shares an exercise which only takes a minute or two, depending on what you need. We're going to do this now to get you out of that stress response and get back into the love response. So if you would all close your eyes and put your hand on your heart. And right now, just by putting your hand on your heart, you're starting to have endorphins going through your body. And start to concentrate on that area around your heart. And taking some big breaths in, feel that it's your heart that's breathing. Your breath is coming in through your heart and out through your heart. And as you're there in that heart breath, imagine a time that you were extremely happy or extraordinarily grateful. And really feel that emotion. Feel the joy radiating through your body. See the smiling faces of the people or the person that was creating that experience with you. And when you reach that point of being totally in that emotion, think about the event that's causing you stress right now. And ask yourself the question, what can I do to look at this situation differently? And listen to what your heart has to say. Take a couple more deep breaths in. And when you're ready, come back. This is an exercise that you can use numerous times during the day. Maybe if you're stuck in traffic and driving, closing your eyes and putting your hands on your heart, not such a great idea. But you can still go to your heart and go through that same process. And I like to talk about the pocket happy place. You know, sometimes when you're just in that stress mode and you can't get there, I like to have a residual happy place that I can automatically go to. So think about when you're having a good day or you're in a good mood, think about 2 or 3 things you just want to keep in that hip pocket so that when you are using that exercise that you can go to that. Share with you one of my happy places that I go to is on the day that Scott and I got married, and I was walking up the aisle to meet him, and he put his hand out to greet me and he had this little tear. It was so cute. So that's one of my pocket happy places. So we've taken a look at taking the time to express our gratitude, looking at the health benefits, the A, acknowledge those we love. Albert Schweitzer wrote, "At times our light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us." There are so many times that we don't take the time to acknowledge those that we love. We assume that they know exactly where our feelings about them. Kind of like that one joke about the woman that wanted to break up with her husband on their 25-year wedding anniversary, and she was just upset and sobbing, or she told her husband, and he says, "Well, what's wrong? What's wrong? You never tell me you love me." And he said, "Well, I told you 25 years ago on our wedding anniversary, on our wedding day, if anything changes, I'll let you know." Don't do that. Our loved ones need to know how we feel, verbally and in the written word. Because isn't it true that so many times when we tell or when we are saying the nicest things about the people we love, it's their eulogy. Are they hearing it? I think that it should actually be illegal for us to ever say something at somebody's eulogy that we did not tell them when they were still on the planet to hear it. In 1987, I met Craig at the gym. And Craig and I became best friends. We were immediately inseparable. And over the course of time in our friendship, life kind of got in the way, and we didn't see each other as often as that we would have liked to see each other. But several years ago, Craig came to my 40th birthday party, and him and I said, we really need to get together. We really need to have lunch. So we set a date. And that date came, and life got in the way again. So we rescheduled, because there's always time to reschedule. Unfortunately, 2 months later, Craig had made his transition at 42 years old after a battle with pancreatitis. And I thought, did I tell Craig how I felt about him often enough? I thought that I did. And I was one of the people that was blessed to share it and gave his eulogy part of it. But did I say those same things often enough to him that I was to share with the congregation? And so I wanted that second chance. I wanted that chance to say everything that I wanted to say again. And be careful what you want, what you wish for, because a couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to do just that. My first husband, Jeff, has been fighting a 2-year battle with stage 4 pancreatic and liver cancer. And he's still hanging on. He's in hospice, and his mom thinks that it's getting close. But on the 5th, he called to say he was making all of his phone calls for his final goodbyes. So we talked, and I told him that I loved him, and we just shared a couple minutes together on the phone. And as I hung up the phone, I thought, if I was giving Jeff's eulogy, is that all I would have said? I thought, no. So I called him back. Thankfully, he was still awake. And during that phone call, I was able to share with him all of the good times, and from my heart, what a kind and beautiful man he was, and that I was honored to have him in my life since I was 14 years old. I wished him the best. He also shared with me from his heart. And then as we said our goodbyes, I said, if there's any way possible for you to contact me from the other side, please do. I really want to know what it's like. But that's powerful, of being able to share everything that's resonating with you with the people that you love. And waiting until they're in their last days is too late. We need to do that regularly and consistently and take the time to acknowledge the people that we love. That was the third step of the A. And let's look at the N, to notice the world around us. Is this not one of the most beautiful falls we have had in a long time? I mean, if you haven't taken the time to go out and just enjoy the trees, I think this is the weekend. If not, it's got to be really close. It's usually Sweetest Day weekend that's the one that rocks. But when it looks as noticing, and I found this beautiful quote by Marilisa Fabriga. And she said, gratitude should not just be a reaction to getting what you want, but an all-the-time gratitude. The kind where you notice the little things and where you constantly look for the good, even in unpleasant situations. Start by bringing gratitude to your experiences instead of waiting for positive experiences in order to feel grateful. How often do we do that? We tell the fireplace to give me some heat and then I'll give you some wood. We get so focused in what we want, we have our blinders on and that's all we see because we have work to do and family to take care of and trips to do and all of this kind of stuff, instead of just taking the time to notice the world around us. When I was putting together this talk, I have to say, I've known about this for months, and I was just blocked. I was absolutely blocked. Nothing was coming. So I called one of my friends, and I said, what do you do when you're blocked? And he said, well, I go for a run in nature. I said, that ain't happening. I'm not a runner. So I said, well, maybe I could do the nature part. So I went to the Brecksville Reservation, as I was, wearing totally inappropriate shoes, and walked into the woods and found a log and sat down. And I listened to the creek, and I saw the colors that surrounded me. And I looked up into the sky, the beautiful sun and the blue sky, and then there were clouds around, and these really heavy clouds came, and they covered up the sun for a minute. And then they went away, and the clouds got lighter, and the sun came back out. The leaves were rustling, and some of them would fall and land gently on me or hit me in the face. And it was just a beautiful, powerful experience of taking that time and just releasing and just being. So then when I was done, and I was freezing, I went back to my car where I drove to another spot and sat in my car and did a little meditation again until I was done. And I have to say, I didn't feel really a lot different that day. Came home and I decided to just, you know what, I'm just going to chuck the rest of the night, the writing will come. Because I know how inspirational Dana is every week, and I wanted to inspire you the way I have been inspired by you for so long, so that stress was on me. And so the following day, I had a window. Between all these meetings, there was this little window, and I said, okay, I'm writing. And that's when it came. So sometimes to get to where we're going, to move forward, we need to take the time to move backwards and look at what we have around us and the blessings that we do have in our life, and just trust that what we need will show up. And it's not only noticing the beauty of the people of the world around you, but it's noticing the people too, that maybe you don't know. You go to your favorite coffee shop in the morning and say, here, just give me my coffee, I can't even look at you without caffeine, and you just hand them the money, right? There's a whole line of other grouchy people doing the same thing. What happens if instead you made eye contact with that person and said, how can you be so chipper? Thank you for your smile, because I don't know how you do it with a line of caffeine-deprived, grouchy people behind you. Starting to notice people. If you ever go to Shula's at Independence, make sure that you ask for Darren. Darren is a waiter that I've had at numerous networking events, and Darren is always smiling. He radiates when he's taking care of you and serving from his heart. And I have always enjoyed Darren. And Scott and I went there for dinner one time, it was last year sometime, and not only did we get Darren's spectacular service, but at the end, he actually packed us up some DoubleTree cookies, their chocolate chip cookies rock, in a bag, and put them for us to take home because we didn't have room for dessert. So as I was walking out of the restaurant, I asked the maitre d' for the general manager's card. They kind of gave you that look, what do you want it for? I took the card and I wrote that general manager a card that said, you should be really honored to have somebody of Darren's caliber working for your restaurant, because he's always right on it. He takes care of the networking groups. He takes care of just when we go there, he's phenomenal. The next time I went to Shula's for my networking group, I found an envelope with my name on it waiting for me. And when I opened it up, it said, a poem to Lisa Ryan. Positive thinking is a life raft to the soul when you feel like your ship is sinking. A positive outlook each day invites God's special blessings to come your way. Lisa, I can say with all positivity that your act of kindness to my heart has forever inspired me. My way of thanking you will be to pass on that beautiful, positive vibe in all you say and do. It's incredible. It's amazing how one person's sunshine can incredibly change another's life. And it makes me proud to say you're a friend of mine. God bless you, Darren.